They're supposed to be pious. They're supposed to be more wise. Piety, but they're lacking manhood. What's the real definition of manhood? I look and say, wisdom. Wisdom's supposed to be full of love. He says to me, what is the real definition of love? I say, motherhood. Motherhood, it comes with unconditional tears. Because nobody loved me like my mother. Not my wife, nobody loved me like my mother. With unconditional tears. What's the definition of tears? He says, what's the real definition of tears? I said, the real definition of tears is the one I shed in front of those who don't deserve. That's the one I shed in front of those who don't deserve. Keeping me with bad memories. What's the real definition of memories? The real definition of memories is a dream that died and I forgot to give it a proper burial. A dream, what's the real definition of a dream? He says the one started and we don't know when it ends. Because all I live is a dream. All I live is hope. My patience is running out. What's the real definition of patience? I said, what's the real definition of patience? He said, the real definition of patience is Hussein. He says, what's the real definition of Hussein? He said, Hussein cannot be defined. Who are you? I said, Hussein cannot be defined. Who are you? Hussein cannot be defined. Who are you? I'm a man who's been searching for reality, thinking it was within these lines. And I finally found out the only reality is me and the angel of death that's staring me in the eye. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. They came to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, Ya Rasulullah, maybe later on the nations, your children are going to know these verses. Why? Because these verses are called, these chapters are called Qisar al-Suwar, meaning the short verses, the short chapters. And surely your nation, Muhammad, later on in life, are going to memorize these short verses. Why? Because they are short. Ya Muhammad, the verse says, Qul. Qul means say. Ya Muhammad, Ubay ibn Ka'b comes to Muhammad. He says, say, Ya Muhammad, al-khitab is yours. Qul, Ya Muhammad, say, O Muhammad, O our apostle. Says, how does it go into the Holy Quran? Should we say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq? Or should we say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, a'udhu bi rabbil falaq? Is the say or Qul a part, or are you being directed? The Holy Prophet replied saying, this is how I received it, and this is how it is. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Some scholars had a problem with that, and they said that أولاً قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ وَقُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ are two chapters. They're called Al-Ma'udhatayn. Al-Ma'udhatayn comes from which word in the verses? قُلْ أَعُوذُ. أَعُوذُ meaning I seek refuge. He said Al-Ma'udhatayn لَيْسَتَا مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. It is not a part of the Quran. Some scholars, not Shia scholars. And we say, then you're saying that the Quran is adulterated. They said, well, technically, if you want to speak that way, there's a Quranic verse in Surah Al-Fatih. Number 10 says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَمَنْ أَوْفَى بِمَا عَاهَدَ عَلَيْهُ اللَّهُ. One more time. وَمَنْ أَوْفَى بِمَا عَاهَدَ عَلَيْهُ اللَّهُ. Awalan, there's a, even for those who don't know that well Arabic, there's a problem with the Arabic, with the listening ear, because something's wrong. وَمَا أَوْفَى مِمَّا بِمَا عَاهَدَ عَلَيْهُ. عليه should be عليه. Open up your Qur'ans, the Al-Fatih chapter, verse number 10. You will find that it was written عليه, which is incorrect. على jar, ومجرور, يعني it should be عليه. Our Shia scholars have written it down in their interpretation as عليه, not عليه. عليه was wrong. Arabic is wrong. So it doesn't mean that we have a different Quran. It means that the person from the ages, somebody messed up on the printing. That's it. By the time they realized it was a misprint, they said, "Oh, don't touch it. It's a misprint. It's not a misprint. It's the way it is. You can't adulterate the Quran." لا, you can't adulterate. The Quran is not adulterated in this way. That doesn't mean the Quran is adulterated. At the time the Holy Prophet brought down the Quran, which way was it brought down? Is the Quran in your hands the same way as the Quran at the time of the Prophet? Absolutely not. Why? Did it come with any notations? Did it come with any dots? Who's the first one to put the dots on the Quran? Imam Ali. So can you say because Imam Ali put the dots now the Quran's been adulterated? Absolutely not. It's just the way you speak nowadays. Back then, Al-Ahd al-Abbasi, they used to say as-salat. For those who know how to read Arabic and write Arabic, salat means sad, lam, alif, ta marbuta, صح? If you read the Quran, because it's على العهد العباسي, you would read it like this: صاد, lam, waw, alif, ta. Does that mean, according to us, it's written wrong? According to the way we view the language now, because the language is ever changing, right? But no problem. It's the way they're. As long as the meaning does not change, we have no problem. This is our viewpoint. So when it says قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ, no, it doesn't say Muhammad and he's supposed to write down أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. No, this is a Quranic verse. We're given it the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the Quran came down the way of إِيَّاكَ أَعْنِي وَاسْمَعْ يَا جَرَى. Say, oh Muhammad, but I mean them. Muhammad, seek refuge, but I mean you. I'm not saying Muhammad to seek refuge, and you're supposed to seek refuge. Who am I seeking refuge from? Came down the Quranic verse. عندنا شغلة بيقولوا لها أسباب النزول. Reason for the verse coming down. صح؟ بيقولوا. This is found in plenty of our books nowadays. And it says the reason this verse, first of all, what does the verse mean? The verse says, أعوذ برب الفلق, I seek refuge in the Lord of الفلق. شو الفلق? The morning. أعوذ برب الفلق. I seek refuge in Allah. أعوذ برب الناس, I seek refuge in the Lord of the people. I seek refuge in the Lord of the morning. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. They say that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi was in Medina, and comes a man by the name of Lubayd ibn Asim, Jewish. Funny, every time there has to be somebody Jewish. He comes and then he starts murmuring something, and he steals something from the... Now I'm paraphrasing. Maybe I'm adding a little bit more to the story. He steals musht. شو musht يعني? The Arabic says musht. Could it mean something else? ناخذ a comb, right? One of those old... no problem. He steals it. The Prophet doesn't realize that the guy stole it. He takes it to a well. He takes it to a well. And he starts breaking the bristles. Breaks one, leaves one. He loves me, he loves Ina. He loves me, he loves me. He breaks the bristles till he comes to 11 bristles. How many bristles? 11. He starts tying a knot in each one and murmuring something. And after that he throws it down to the well. After he threw it down the well, the Prophet was affected in Sahar. He was sorcery. The Prophet wasn't the same anymore. Ali would come look at the Prophet, what's wrong with the Prophet? Ibn Abbas would come, what's wrong with the Prophet? And then Jibreel salamullahi alayhi comes down with what we call seeking refuge in God, al-ma'udhatayn, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ وَقُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. 6 verse and 5. How many is that? 11. So Isha Ali took these verses and went. Jibreel told him where the musht, the comb is with the bristles. He goes, get it from the well. He goes to the well, grabs it from the well, and starts reading the Quranic verses, all 11 verses from the 2 chapters. And every time he reads one verse,